Saudava. Salam alaikum. Lafia. Aibobo. So this particular video is based on, is there karma in the practice of black magic, in the practice of witchcraft, right? In the practice of even spiritual attack. Is there karma? Now, most of you probably have been conditioned to believe that the idea or the concept of karma is punishment for your actions. And that's actually not what the fuck it is. Karma is just a Sanskrit word that means action. It does not mean punishment. It means action. And it connects to a deeper philosophy known as the law of causation, which states that for every action, there is an equal opposite reaction. Okay? That should be kind of self-explanatory for most people, but you never know. We are in a new age where people kind of like be on some other shit. But for every action, there's an equal opposite reaction, right? So that means that what I do today will shape my tomorrow, right? If I make the right choices today, then I'll have a better tomorrow. If I smoke a pack of cigarettes today for 25, 30 years, I'm probably going to have lung problems later down the line. Okay? If, if I drive drunk every day, then I'm probably going to have a car accident. 9 times out of 10. Okay? So this is the law of causation. It doesn't have anything to do with punishing you. There's no spiritual force or no entity that's punishing you for your actions. It is the very universal law of causation that is actually punishing you, because as you perform negative actions, you will get negativity in return. For every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. Meaning that if I perform negativity, the negativity is going to come back to me equally. It may not come back to me in the same form. It may not be instantaneous. You may smack the shit out of somebody and they may smack the shit out of your ass back. That's instantaneous causation. Every action leads to an equal opposite reaction. Okay? Right? But then you have those longer durations of causation where you may be living a life of crime. And then you may not get caught for 10 years. But eventually, the law of causation says that this is what's going to happen to you from performing this particular action, karma. Okay? So when we talk about karma, we're not looking at it from a perspective of a religious person. We're looking at karma from the perspective of an occultist. And karma, like I said, is the law of causation. And the law of causation is what you need to understand in order to know what type of actions you need to perform and how you need to perform spiritual work. Now, for example, if you go out there and let's say, for instance, some fool on Facebook or social media talk shit about you or whatever. And then, right? And they're not doing nothing against you. They're not doing nothing spiritual against you. Or not. I'm not going to even say that. Let's say that they just disagree with a post. They come on your post and y'all get into a little debate, because this is how petty people get on social media these days with these spiritual practices. A person will literally put you in a pot just because you went back and forth with them on a post. Lame as fuck, but it happens. So if you were to actually go and start doing bad things to this person just because they did not share your point of view, but yet they haven't done anything spiritual to you, they haven't done anything physical to you to try to hurt your life or hurt you in any way, they just didn't agree with you, and you go out and do that, now you can incur the negative energy that comes from engaging spiritually with this person unjustified. Okay? 9 times out of 10, most things that are done on social media spiritually against another person are unjustified. From the very conception of it, it's unjustified. Because just because a person talks shit about you don't mean you gotta go and curse their whole life. Fuck it. People are gonna talk shit about you every day. Even if there was no internet, people are gonna talk shit about you. Most of y'all got talked about in grammar school and high school. Shit, I know I did. We all did. Everybody did. Was we cursing motherfuckers back then? Hell the fuck no. We wasn't, because we didn't know what the fuck that shit was. Now people who never had the balls to stand up for themselves when they were younger are now using spirituality to exert their ego in ways that are causing them to do negative things to people unjustly. And that is why these people incur the type of karma or causation that they do, and why certain people are protected. Remember, even in their Bible, it says that, you know, God judges you by your intention. So if a person is doing things with good intention, right? You're not doing things for the sake of just making money, or you're not doing things for the sake of being the most powerful, or you're not doing, doing things for the sake of being the most popular. You're just doing what the hell you're supposed to do. And people come fuck with you, right? You automatically, from the inception of the concept of attacking you, you're already on the right side of justice, because you didn't do shit to nobody. If your cause of, if this person is over here doing nothing to nobody but minding their business, and you come walk your silly ass up and fuck with them because of whatever reason, on social media or whatever, you come fuck with them, and then that person come back and give you a reaction of, well, nigga, you're not just gonna say that. And boom, boom, boom. And then they go back and forth, cause effect, cause effect, cause effect, cause effect, cause effect, until something happens. Right? Now, the wise person don't say shit. The wise person don't say, because it don't even matter in the end. And this is how you nip cause and effect in the bud. Because once you set out a cause to do something against me, and then I don't do nothing, as long as you don't come and put your hands on me, as long as you don't try to hurt my life with spirituality or anything like that, period, point blank, I'm going to ignore the fuck out of you, because there's no reason for me to even put those type of causes into effect. Those negative causes of going back and forth with a moron on the internet don't even make sense to me, because now it's just going to lead to more negative causes. I mean, negative effects. Right? And it just don't, it ends up being nothing but negativity. Right? But if I focus on clients, if I focus on helping people, if I focus on educating people, if I focus on sharing what I've learned over the years by working with these spirits, that's a positive action that can only lead to positivity. Okay? But people who are sorcerers and witchcraft people and all them type of people, they'll go and say, well, oh, we'll just block that person from receiving any good karma for their deeds and blah, blah, blah. That's temporary. You can try to tie it on real tight, whole bunch of knots and stuff, but most of the time it's just temporary. And so, but cause and effect works in that way. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna work in that way for you. No matter who you are, I don't care what title you got. I don't care what initiation you received. The law of causation is universal. It extends itself throughout the entire fabric of reality. Even the lion and the tiger and the bears and the insects and everything are subject to causation. Even the plants are subject to causation. Everything is subject to causation. Everything that exists in the physical and non-physical world is subject to causation. The only time and the only instance in which causation has been neutralized is when one has merged their mind with the universal consciousness. When the yin and the yang say fuck it and just become one. In that non-dual state, causation does not exist. Okay? But any plane of existence where duality exists, then we have the law of duality, which we can go into in another video. But any plane of existence where the law of duality exists, you're going to have causation. There's going to be a cause and effect. A cause and effect. Cause is one side of the dual. Effect is the other side of the dual. There's the duality right there. Okay? So whenever you're doing spiritual work, you have to understand that this is why I stress to my clients and to my students and to people who learn from me that everything has to be justified. And a lot of times, our egos will try to find a way to justify it. But you may go to a spirit and say, well, look, if I do this, is this the only way that I'm going to get this negative force out of my life is if I ask for you to do this? And then they're going to say yes or no. All right? They may say yes, they may say no. Right? If they say yes, if you do that, we will ensure that this is going to be eliminated from your life. Right? Because technically, you're not causing you're not causing a problem for anybody. You're just doing your thing. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about anybody. You could be at your job doing your thing, working, and then some asshole bitch want to walk up and try to motherfucking make problems for you because she don't like the clothes you wear. She don't like the type. She don't like that the guys at the job be flirting with you and all this kind of weird shit. This happens in everyday regular life. Okay? And then you may go home. You may be a spiritualist. You may go home and put some shit on her ass to help her make her go away. She may get fired. She may get hit by a bus. Who the fuck knows? But you just asked the spirit to make her go away. You didn't mess with this lady. So now you're operating with injustice because you're operating within the spirit of justice, on the side of the spirit of justice, right? Because people will say, well, oh, why you got to go to a pot? Why you got to go get a gun? Why you got to go get a stick? Why you got to go get a bat? Why you got to take your whole ass on the internet? People use everything as a weapon when it comes to defending themselves against injustice. And if you got some pots or a pot or something that you can call on to help manifest some shit to make sure that you can fight injustice with, then fucking so be it. Niggas need to not fuck with everybody. That's really what it come down. You shouldn't fuck with everybody. You didn't know that Shawty at the motherfucking copy machine was at home a whole motherfucking Santeria. You ain't even know that. Because you out here being a bitch. I'm just being real. And this is how cause and effect come into effect. This is how it come into action. People doing shit they ain't got no business doing. Leave motherfuckers alone. Stay in your motherfucking lane. And you won't even have that much negative causation manifesting in your life. Just stay in your motherfucking lane. Like, everybody got a motherfucking prove motherfucking point. And this is why people be getting fucked up. Not just in a spiritual arena, but also in a physical arena. I watch the news every day and some nigga getting shot over something. They never tell you why the nigga got shot. They just say, teen got shot, man got shot, woo-woo got shot. They don't never get down to the reason why. They always make us feel like the nigga that got shot was the victim. Who knows if that nigga did some fucked up shit to somebody and they felt that he needed to be shot. Not saying that it's right, but that's how people think today. It's on the news right now. So when people think about spirituality, you think they're not thinking about that the same way? People out here using pots like guns. They're not going to touch you physically, but they'll run to their little pot and ask that spirit to do some shit to you over some bullshit, and then they wonder why negativity starts coming back into their life, especially when that person did not do anything that was justified enough for you to go to that shrine and ask that spirit to do this, 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 and this. You feel me? So, yeah, karma, definitely the law of causation exists in doing spiritual work and in doing black magic and witchcraft and anything that you out here doing, whether it be E5, voodoo, whatever. Causation exists in all of it. There's no escaping it. There's no explanation for it. I don't want to debate with nobody about it. It is what it is. Just fucking accept it and learn how to maneuver through the universe responsibly. Ladoye.